This was a pizza night. I wanted to show you how I make pizza dough. You'll get the full recipe right here and my methods. So for 2 pizza pies, I do 2 cups of bread flour and 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I like to keep my all-purpose flour in a taller container since we use that more often. And my bread flour I keep in a shorter one. And I like to do bread flour first. Not that contamination is really that significant here, but if I'm gonna contaminate one, I'd rather put the bread flour into the all-purpose rather than the all-purpose into the bread flour. So 2 and 2. And very precise measurements. I do a cereal spoon of sugar. I had to break this up because shipment must have been rained on or something. I don't know. It was all clumped up. So a cereal spoon of sugar, a cereal spoon of salt, and a cereal spoon of instant yeast. Fleischmann's. Mix it up. Make a well, a bowl. Now for the water, 1.5 cups. 4 cups of flour, 1.5 cups of water. Now I get it to temperature at 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Just flush it out until it comes up to temp, and then I pour it down to 1.5 cups. Forgive the mess in our house this day, but I'm not ashamed. It's supposed to be lived in, and I clean it every day anyways. Perfect. And then another precise measurement. Glug, glug, glug of olive oil. Pizza hook. I like to pour the water right in the middle of the flour well. It pulls the flour in nice and even from the walls of the well. Donuts. So I like to switch between high speed and low speed. High speed tends to pull the dough apart, and then low speed lets it bring back together easier. But if I'm lazy, I just let it go low speed and I forget about it for a while. Come back in like 10 minutes and it's done. So once it's nice and non-sticky and malleable, just pull it out. Should be uniform. You don't have to do too much kneading. Put it into a uniform log like this. It's easy enough. If I'm doing more than 2, I like to weigh out each dough ball individually. I just scale the ingredients to, if I was doing 3 pizzas, I would scale it up to 6 cups of flour. Man, you'd think I'd be sick enough of this mess to fix it. Pam. Roll them into balls. Make sure there's no holes. I pinch the bottom. Although this one I did like a surgical seam. You'll see, pinch sideways. Usually don't do that. I usually swirl it down to a point. And set them aside. And usually I go about 4 hours. Really, you can go however long you want, but at least 4. So this is pizza making time. This is actually a different dough than the dough you saw me just make. I happened to record on a day I made dough, forgot to record when I assembled, and then another day I forgot to record when I made dough, but then I recorded when I assembled. I just use crushed tomatoes. This can I got from Wegmans. Wegmans does crushed, but they're chunky. Tops does crushed, but it's smooth. Usually if I get the Wegmans, I puree it, but this time I didn't. My only additional ingredient in the sauce is oregano. Salt comes in the tomato can, and oregano is my only additive. So it's 3 ingredients: tomato, salt, and oregano.
This is pizza dough.
Dust it. Really cover that with flour.
Yes, you are.
So when you're stretching the dough, you want to stretch the outside. Don't worry about stretching the middle. It'll stretch itself. There's less dough in the middle to stretch. There's more dough on the outside to stretch. So start on the outside. And here you can see I'm stretching the middle. But if I didn't stretch the outside, the inside would be tearing already. This one wasn't so round.
What are you doing?
I am. Stretching the dough, miss.
Roughly 3 scoops.
Right.
See, I like the
Nice one.
smooth sauce because it's easier to spread around,
Like road.
more uniform,
The circle grew.
although it tastes just the same.
Not like road.
It just has a different texture.
No pepperoni.
Oh, do you want pepperoni? Do you want pepperoni pizza? I'm asking you, do you want pepperoni pizza? Okay.
You want cheese on it?
What? What are my ingredients, miss?
You don't have to do this. I like it. Parmesan cheese. Now I know what you're going to say. Fresh grated mozzarella is better. And pre-grated has something, what is it? Sprayed on it, mixed in it to like keep the dryness or freshness. But Tops has a whole milk mozzarella. That's great. And Wegmans just started carrying a whole milk mozzarella. I joke around that they did it for me because they realized I was buying it from Tops regularly. There's my little one, snorting up the cheese. She gets a rush.
You promise you do? Are you sure?
So this is turkey pepperoni. I'm actually a big fan. The flavor's there. It actually gets a nice char coming out of the oven.
All right. Okay. Non-buffalo style. Kind of what I want. Oh my goodness.
See some of the chicken
Oh good.
some of the chicken I showed you the marinade in the previous video. Here's an onion I kept in the fridge. Keeps nice. Pizza, I don't dice an onion. I just do half circles. Jalapeno, I take the seeds out. Sometimes if it's just jalapeno and pepperoni, I'll do 2 jalapenos. Here I scoop out the seeds. It's kind of surprised with jalapenos, not sure if it's going to be spicy or not. If it's with the seeds, it's certainly going to be more spicy than without. But even sometimes, some of the jalapenos are spicy, even without the seeds. But we like the heat.
Jalapeno.
Chunk the chicken. Now this pizza is going to be loaded.
They're so good.
Push out that crust. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of webbing it out, pushing my left hand in one, pulling with the right. Keep going until you have a perfect circle. And you want your palms facing down, back of your hands facing up. I always like to have the crust stretching a little over the edge of these pans so it lifts it up. I like these perforated pans a lot better for a standard oven. Now, if you're going to make pizza the right way, you want a super hot stone. But the problem with the stones is they're hard to move. I have some stones, and I used to heat it up super hot and then bring them out, then make the pizza on it. But when they're at high temp, It's hard to make the pizza fast enough because the bottom of the pizza gets cooked before the top. So then it gets super char on the bottom and not cooked enough on top. But that's the perk of having an industrial oven, because you don't have to move the stone at all. The onion, I have to rough it up a bit before you drop it on the pizza so the pieces loosen up, so they spread evenly.
How was your day today?
Mom's home.
Good?
Yeah.
Harvey, how's piano, babe? Good. Good. Did you do well?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Jalapeno. Turkey pepperoni. Now this I'll go less dense, further spaced out.
The thing is only like 3 weeks away.
Mom?
Pepperoni's one of the... If there's few items on the pizza, pepperoni being one of them, then I'll
Hey, you already had pepperoni.
have them touching each other.
I like this turkey pepperoni. It might be my favorite. Although I do like that cup and char, not the bold. Remember we tried that bold with John and John?
Thank you. Oh, no,
And it turned out to be terrible? It must have been old.
Man, this kitchen's messy. But like I said, this house is lived in and I clean it pretty much every day. Put everything away. Eleanor's pooping on the toilet. So here's my cutting method. 2 of these thin sheets, plastic sheets, put it right on top.
Woo! Look at this!
Next pizza goes in.
Oh, in the morning they're coming for the water.
Holy great.
March 9th,
Yeah, next week. Next Thursday.
Thursday.
You got pizza, mommy.
Alright, Mom.
Yeah, I know.
Cap for the sauce. Sauce, we always use fast enough.
Yep.
We always do pizza like once a week, and whatever leftover we have gets put on the next pizza.
You want a pizza?
That chicken will be eaten another day. Turkey pepperoni will be eaten again.
Dad. No, I already put it
Right
away.
into the garbage. Now, if I had flour that was dedicated for pizza, what we used to do at the pizza shop that I worked at, we kept the flour that was dedicated for the dough
Ooh, we're so
that was
excited.
used. We put it right back on top of the flour that we were going to use next.
The same way I always make it.
But since we use flour for more than just pizza, I'll just put the excess right into the garbage.
Cheese or pepperoni? Eleanor wants pepperoni. For the munchkin.
2 cheese, 1 pepperoni. We love blue cheese. It's funny, the one of my children who likes
hair tie.
Red Hot doesn't like the pepperoni
Yep.
because she says it's too spicy. Riddle me that one.
Okay, usual setup.
We're working on pulling our hair back when we're eating because I hate when their hair gets pulled when we're brushing it out because it's filled with gunk from eating and whatever gets in their hair. Life gets in their hair.
Oh, oh, this pizza looks fantastic.
So I should have charred this pizza a little more than what you see there. It's a little light around the edges.
Oh,
It's hard for the cheese to get a little charred because the amount of toppings that are on it. But as I recall, this
this is an
pizza turned
interesting
out
combination.
awesome. It was really
Chicken,
fantastic.
onion, jalapeno, pepperoni.
Now, don't you worry, this
You
is
want
not my
honey?
last pizza video. This one certainly wasn't my most spectacular pizza evening. I'm going to show you my favorite pizza of all time, inspired by a local restaurant. But the way I make it is phenomenal. At least we think so. There you go. Pizza dough. You're going to love it.